Okay, so back to our insultometer. As you recall, we were reading three variables and using them to construct a sentence. And just let's run through that again if you're watching this one in isolation. So we're going to run it. What is your name? John. Enter. Favourite football team? England, I suppose. And where do I live? And put the UK. Okay, so showing it's different than before. John is a silly name, England can't play to save their lives, and the UK is a done. Okay, fair enough. So that's our insultometer, a little bit of fun. Enjoy yourself on that, so try and write some code for yourself where you read in more than three variables and try to construct a whole paragraph and get your friend sitting next to you to have a go with your insultometer and vice versa. It's a really useful exercise because this whole thing teaches you about variables, it teaches you about inputting information, albeit only text, but inputting information into the computer, and it also shows you how to output formatted. By formatted I mean that we're printing it all in one sentence, formatted text out to the computer itself. Okay, we also spoke about putting things in files, and you can see how easy it is for us to do this now. We just go to the run button and we run the module, and we can run that code over and over and over again, save it, put it on a pen drive, take it home with us, show our grandma, that kind of stuff. Okay, that makes coding look very, very simple, but unfortunately, and I call this red ink syndrome, and you'll see why in a minute, one of the biggest problems that spooks people who are learning to write code is that, in principle, when someone shows you to do it on the screen, everything goes fine, your confidence bounds, but then you get home and you try and do some on your own, and you try to run it, and you get some red ink, and you don't know what to do about it. Let's just do this with this example that we have here. So here's our file, or test one, as we call it here. We haven't got the imagination here. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take out that double quote there. Now, on the surface of it, not much seems to have changed. If you can see the colours there, what has changed? Well, nothing really on the surface, apart from this bracket here, seems to have gone green for some reason. Okay, now, so what we did is we took double quote away from here. So this string here is no longer terminated. In other words, the computer doesn't know where the string ends. Watch what happens if I try and run it. Here we are, red ink syndrome. This is the one which will completely flummox you when you get home and you try and do this on your own. Because remember what we're looking for here, we're looking for a double quote, which is almost impossible to see with the naked eye very quickly when you're looking at code, and yet we know that there's an error because we haven't gone, look in the other window here, and you can see that the program isn't running. It's not, we should see what is your name, and it's just refusing to run. So as we look at that, we see EOL. Now, often what you see delivered to you, what does EOL mean? Well, Mike, tell me what EOL means?
End of line. End of line. So what it's saying is end of line while scanning string literal. This here is a string literal.
But you'll notice that the red is on the line where the error is contained. It's not on any other line. So we know that we've got a fault on that line. That narrows it down enormously, doesn't it?
It knows. So we know the fault's here, and it's saying EOL end of line while scanning string literal. So that means it's looking at the string literal, but it's looking for the speech quotes to terminate the string literal. It's not found them, and it's hit the end of line. And that is the syntax error.
So a syntax error means, well, what is syntax? Mike, you have a go at syntax.
Syntax is the format, or it's the spelling, really, isn't it? It's the spelling and grammar all rolled into one.
It's the spelling and grammar of the language that you're using, I think. So you can't speak Japanese, Chinese, whatever, without obeying the rules, because otherwise somebody won't understand you. And it's the same with something like Python. You have to obey the rules, because otherwise you get red ink syndrome, which is what we've got here. So we're not obeying the rules there, and that's not going to let us to run the code. Now, you get other kinds of errors which are probably worse than this, although this will be a curse to students when they're first learning their language. You get errors that happen at runtime. So this error is prior to runtime. We can trace the error, we can put it right, and we can run the code once we put the error right. But an error which is even worse is when the code runs, but it doesn't do what you want it to. That's a separate issue. That's to do with the algorithm and to do with the structure of the code itself. So, let's put this problem right again. So, we'll say OK to that because we recognise there's a problem and we recognise it's on this line. So, we're going to put the double quotes back in again to indicate that's where that string ends. And you'll notice this bracket is now gone black, indicating that that's a control character understood by Python itself. And now if I run it, what is the name? John, favourite football team, France. And where do I live? But I run out of towns.
Ireland.
Ireland, okay. So John is still in name France, no play it says lives in Ireland is must say things like that.
Lots of things like that. And then you try and remove the end parentheses there, the function, and you try and see what happens there.
On where? Okay.
All these, rather, yeah, the parentheses bracket.
Okay, so what we're trying to do here is generate red ink syndrome. We want to show you that we can generate errors if we want. So Mike's saying let's remove the bracket on the end here. So if we take that bracket off, all looks the same as it did before pretty much, but we know that bracket's missing. If we try and run it, it's going to say we'll do it. Invalid syntax. That's not very useful. And you'll also notice that something really funny has happened there, because by taking that bracket off the end there, it's telling us that the error is actually on the line that follows it. Why is that?
This is because the compiler, the Python compiler, is trying to find the end of the command of this line, the syntax of this line. And it's terminated in an unterminated way. And so what's happening is it's scanning the entire length of the line. It's looking for another parenthesis or another piece of syntax that would conclude that command. It's not found it. So what it's saying is, now I've got this, it's actually wrapped around thinking it still needs to be looking on the line below.
So it thinks it's still the same line, basically.
It thinks it's still it's wrapping it around. But then it's seeing something that's invalid. The C should not go here without a comma or something. So it's breaking the syntax rules, and so therefore it's assuming that this is the error, because it's continuing looking from the line previously, and it's found the first error from that point.
So if you get some red ink, or a small blob of red ink on the beginning of a line, it's pretty sensible to not only look in that line, because it might be the errors there, but also to look in the previous line. Okay? So what I'm going to do in a minute, so I'll put this right, and I'm going to, so let's just make sure that runs again. So run. Okay, what's your name? Back where we were before. Switch. And our program seems to be running absolutely fine as it did before. Now Mike, if you just turn away and shut your eyes or whatever, I'm going to introduce a syntax error into this, and we'll see what happens. Okay Mike, you can look round. The people watching the video obviously saw what I did. See if you can see. So would you like to try and run that program now? Ah, now that's interesting. So it let us run the program, and now we have an error. See if you can find that one, Mike.
Okay, so what this is telling me is that it's the traceback, or the most recent call last. This is going to list the previous function calls that have worked okay, but the last one it was executing, right, was this line here, C equals imper. I see there's a spelling mistake here, where do you live? Name error, name imper is not defined. So this should obviously be input, but because we've written a word that's not a keyword, it's assumed that we're referring to a variable. But we haven't previously defined or created an variable called imper, so therefore we get a name error. So if I look back at the source file, I can see that this line here, I could actually, if the source file was really long, I could just copy this here, and then find it here, and then I find that line that it's referring to. Sometimes it also gives you a line number, line 3 in module, so I can also look at line 3. Down here it tells me line 3.
Bottom right hand corner, the numbers, right?
So, and I can see the problem, and imper certainly is not the right colour. If it's a keyword, it would change to this purple colour in this program. Different for different programs. Colour context is different for different programs, but this particular one is purple. It's not changed purple, it's in black. So it is, the compiler is interpreting this name here as a variable. Yeah? But this variable has not previously been defined, yet I'm using it to assign another value. This is illegal, I cannot do this. But in our sense, we know that that shouldn't be a variable, that should be a keyword, so the fix is simply to get the spelling correct. Now, change the R to T, the colours change back to purple, I save it, I run it, and now...
Well, it did that before, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but now it seems satisfied with that, so it's recognised. Yeah, very good. Okay, so there's some syntax. We'll just do one more in this little snippet that we're doing here. So which might change. Mike, turn away, please. Okay, the audience can kind of see what I'm doing here. And save it for you. Okay, Mike, see if you can find this error. Or see if there is an error there at all. Maybe there isn't.
Okay, what do we have here?
You haven't run it